What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. So, as you guys have been seeing recently in my videos, I've been talking about the Seth Rollins faction. I talked about my thoughts on the faction. I talked about who could potentially be joining the faction, and talking about um, what that faction can look like going into the rest of this year and going into Survivor Series, because I think they are going to do something um, with Team Heyman versus Team Roman Reigns or something along the lines of that. But there's one guy in that faction that I've been talking about, and I want to give you guys my opinion and thoughts on why I think he should join, and that's none other than Austin Theory. Now, Austin Theory to me, I think has all the tools necessary to make it big in this business and make it far in this company. I think he's one of those guys that I feel like just he I feel like it was rushed the way they did it in the Paul Heyman era, not the Paul Heyman era, but the Vince McMahon era. I think Vince really wanted him to be his guy, and we knew how much he wanted him to be the guy for him. We seen him give the Money in the Bank. We seen him get the U.S. titles and stuff like that. But it seems as if since Triple H has taken over, he hasn't really done much with him. My thing is this: I feel like he's still relatively very young, and I think maybe that's why they are not really pushing him because they know he's still relatively very young, so they want to wait. But I don't think that should be a case if you don't want to do anything with him. You can honestly send him to NXT for the time being. It gives him some time to be on television. He can still be with the younger talent, and then you build him up that way. Um, but here's my thoughts and opinions. It makes sense for him to join this faction. I know a lot of people have been telling me it doesn't make sense for him to join based off how he's been treated in WWE so far. Now, I like to give this. I'm not trying to compare this faction to another faction. I don't want it to seem that way, but I think it makes sense to make this callback a little bit, and it gives you this tie-in that I'm going to give about to give you guys. So, if you guys remember, a dominant faction called Evolution back in the day. The Evolution faction consisted of Triple H, Ric Flair, Batista, and Randy Orton, a four-man faction. Now, it did consist of another person, and then Batista came in and stuff like that. But overall, it was strictly those four guys that I just named. Now, you can make that tie-in from Evolution to what we are potentially could be getting now. Triple H is Seth Rollins in this scenario. Batista is Braun Breaker in this scenario. Paul Heyman is the Ric Flair in this scenario. And then it seems so it's only three guys. So we still don't have that Randy Orton S type character unless they're gonna have pretty much Braun Breaker be the both the Batista and Randy Orton character. But I think it's more safe to say that he's going to be the Batista character than anything else. So that leaves the question to be had is who's going to be the Randy Orton character. I know people are saying maybe Carmelo Hayes, and I'm not saying that Carmelo Hayes can't be that guy because he has that character, but I'm strictly going to go Austin Theory on this one. Austin Theory, I think, gives me Randy Orton vibes. Think about it. If you want to make the argument, he kind of has that legend killer vibe to him anyway. If you want to be honest, he's beaten Edge. He's beaten John Cena. Like he's beaten some of these legends. He's beaten Rey Mysterio. He's beaten Finn Balor. He's beaten a lot of these names already. So he already has that slight to him that people may not be talking about from the legend killer standpoint, right? Then, if you want to also make the argument again, he has history with most of the people within the group, anyways. You go back to 2020. He was one of the disciples of Seth Rollins during that time period. It was him, Austin, it was Seth Rollins, Austin Theory, and then it was Buddy Murphy, one of the disciples. So there is a tie in there as well. You go back to what 2016, if I'm not mistaken. He was literally accompanied to the ring and evolved by Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman endorsed Austin Theory as the future of the WWE. You bring him in, you let him be that future, because I really feel as if Austin Theory is the future of the WWE. I really stand by that. I'm going to continue to stand by that because he is the future of the WWE. Like, he has all the tools to do so. You put him in this faction, let him learn from some of the very best to ever do it with Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman. Let him sit under and take Austin Theory under the ring, and then when the time is right and you break off, he can be a bigger star than we could have ever imagined. By the time he breaks off, look what happened when Randy Orton broke off. He went on to become world champion numerous times. When this faction probably disbands in a couple of years, Braun Breaker's going to have a huge career ahead of him. And I think the same thing could be said for Austin Theory. And if you want to break this faction off, if you still think as if, he's going to do big things, but you think he might be lacking in some type of area, you can honestly put him into Paul Heyman. You can keep Paul Heyman and Austin Theory together to help him elevate to another level. So there's no excuse that he should not be joining this faction. If it didn't make sense, then it doesn't make sense. But when it does make sense, you what are, like would you rather him do something like this where it makes sense, where it could help him, or do you keep him in this partnership with Grayson Waller where he continues to take beatings for Grayson and it does nothing? And they're still talking about this whole face turn when we both know it's probably not going to happen. Because if it was, it would have happened already. We're still talking about it 2 years after they started teasing it, and it still hasn't happened. So I just feel as if he's going to end up joining this faction at some point. He's going to do good things. I think by the end of this year, he's going to win that Intercontinental Championship. He's over on Raw. Let him win that Intercontinental Championship. And then from there, you build him and that championship for a little bit. And then when he drops it, then we can potentially push him up to the main event scene. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. But hey, let me know how you guys feel about that. Do you guys think Austin Theory will be a good addition to this faction, or do you guys don't think he should join at all? Let me know in the comment section down below. Road to 2,000 subscribers. Ultimate goal is 10,000 by the end of 2025. But with that being said, super kick that like button, helps my channel get pushed up across the platform so more people can see what I'm doing over here on YouTube. Superman post notification bell so every time I post a new video, or as a reaction video, rant video, live stream, any type of video, you can be in the loop of things when I do drop a video. And speed the subscribe button takes 3 seconds out of your day to do those 3 things for me. Helps in the progression of my channel as well. But with that being said, hope everyone has a great day, great rest of your weekend, and I'll see you guys in the next video.